looking forward to this season because Pigeons starting to look like hawks out there. They had that 0-2 start. They are on a bit of a win streak. And I'm just excited for this next generation of talent. I mean, we underestimated sleepers and they just beat NRG Academy. So why not Pigeons over M80, huh?
No, absolutely. I feel like this one's one that it feels like it leans in M80's favor, but Pigeons have always been that stable, not standout team until it came to these upsets. Already in the Swiss stage itself with Blue Otter and Nightblood Gaming, teams that were built to succeed and built off of veteran VCL talent. So what's another one on the road to recovery? The road to playoffs, right? So, I mean, jumping into this, the desk mentioned it, no changes on either side after Pigeons found out what worked for them.
Okay, that turret in mid gonna be marked from M80. Leaving that. Bonnie is another really hyped up neon, along with the one we just casted over. So Pigeons, although, you know, they're leading a lot on the leadership that Coburg brings with the challengers experience that he does have. A lot of them are new to this. They were just on the edge of qualifying for challengers in the past, and now they're here to put on a show. And Anderson, oh my god, a double kill against the vets, and he gets overwhelmed. And Pigeons have made their mark, as Cuz would mark that now M80 are not going to full commit to this.
I'm glad they didn't, right? Cuz was ready to strike off that site smoke as well. And a big note about Anderson, right? He was playing Chamber before, so no stranger to putting his life on the line. Unfortunately, this time, no rendezvous to rely upon there. It's the 2-1 down, which is the job of a Sentinel, and it gave massive information for this Pigeons reframe where they're playing very a retake, right? You have Coburg disconnected from the A site, but still getting the backside cross, the plant info. Left. And now that it's been almost 30 seconds since contact's been made, that's where the question marks pop up. That's where they start grouping and going exploring.
Ouch, that helmet's got a dent in it. Cuz patience paying off and no route of escape. And if anything, call 911, but for M80, Paint, 13 HP. May recognize him from his duelist days, but now he's on plant duty and Pigeons evacuating the rest of M80. And it's a pistol in their favor.
It just looked very, very controlled from the get-go and didn't get too antsy as well after that. M80 squad cut contact either, just went back to the usual. And honestly, this is a map that to me Pigeons picked not because of the weaknesses of M80 on this map. We mentioned that one loss to a good Haven team, but because it is one that it's strategically simple. It does come down to who is aiming, who is blasting at the end of the day. And so far, it's looking like Pigeons are definitely the ones to watch.
And we were talking during the break about where are our expectations for Pigeons, because you got to respect everybody regardless of, you know, resumes, and you can't even compare that anymore after the series we just saw. But expect the unexpected is what you told me, and exactly what Pigeons did to pull off that double kill to get the pistol going.
Well, talked about the flashy start. Let's see about a flashy eco. M80 trying, whittling their ways into this B side. GMD got past the chaos of the swarms of the stuns, but I mean, it's just a massacre left, right, and center here, Levin Kiwi. I mean, you don't even get a word in. The run's over.
Jesus, yeah, they just walked into a trap. M80 get pinged by the recon,
Absolutely.
And they're floundering around. There's a judge in their face. They're getting spammed from all sides. At least it was quick. And I mean, if there was a way to jump off this map, I think M80 would have opted for that after what we just saw. And clean stuff from Pigeons. Really, what, only losing one player? That was Amal's first death. And look at him. And him versus Bonnie was going to be a big story in this match because Bonnie, like I said, has been a very formidable neon in challengers.
Well, absolutely. Well, now it's the Sheriff versus the Phantom here. And, ooh, Anderson, not a similar 2K with you putting your life on the line this time around, but it might draw them into Koof here early.
Oh, Koof does dodge the paranoia and tries to get away with a multi-kill. A well-timed swing from Cuz keeps M80 unstable, I should say. These rounds are so quick. M80 are trying to execute and just speed on in. They had that spam on the Sentinel, and M80 just fall over to a well-timed crossfire.
Yeah, I mean, the attention draw there was perfect from Coop and well timed as well because they were nearsighted, they were vulnerable, and somehow Cuz still survives, still even gets the pick-me-up and goes blasting. And then while you're worrying about the judge and the sheriff from Cuz, that's when Zamal comes in with that sheriff. So, I mean, the fast pace has not let up. Neither have the string of rounds the Pigeons have been able to find. 3-0 Monday reset for M80 here now. And it's an eco. You don't want to slow down here necessarily either, but if anybody's spinning up, it's Pigeons. Look at how deep down A long they already are on an eco.
Bro, put the drone down, son. Oh, put the whole gun down and the spike. This round is already sealed. And I mean, it was going to take a lot for M80 to pull this off, but even just getting close enough. Oh, okay. Zamal should have got that, but hey, M80 Paint really like to keep this gun, and they won't. Look, they're almost like vultures. Like M80 are bleeding, and then you have Pigeons surrounding them and picking them apart. That's nuts.
We're just seeing how many bird analogies we can make into this cast, right? We have a hawk, we have the vultures. We'll see what's up next, but for the time being, I mean, we expected that round not to go M80's way, but that fashion, right, just screams the confidence we knew Pigeons were going to be bringing into this server, right? The last thing you would normally want to do is fight early, give them a gun, right? Give them a hero rifle to M80, and that didn't happen. They just won it out. So now, 4 in a row, and Cuz, finally getting burned for the forward aggression.
It's so cool to see Derek in a competitive environment again, too, because he's been mechanically such a beast. A really positive teammate to have around. So I like that M80 can shake off that 0-4, have a first blood. Not really slow down at all. Alvin breaks open the point. There's that 1-4 split, the flood in. Pigeons be waiting at the front door for their chance to sneak in. The shock bullets from Coop. He still has a recon and a drone if they want to take their time. They let the Odin do all the yapping while M80 post plant. Seems pretty ironclad. The only thing they don't have is maybe a paranoia to ease things for GMD. But with the turret, it's already gonna mark Pigeons' presence. M80 can just hide away, but maybe have given way too much space to Pigeons. How the hell did Pigeons just retake this? Payne is trying to salvage the situation, a 1v1, but that should have never gotten that close.
They should not have. I mean, you mentioned the lack of util on that retake for Pigeons, and they say, let's just take the timings in instead. Everyone takes the dive, crosses the line, and they come up with the trades, the success initially. And then Paint just able to navigate that 1v2, right? No stranger to unfair fights. I mean, some of these shots are even blind from Coop, which just makes it an even more unfair matter through the M80 lens. But all in all, they're on the board. They have ults to continue this turnaround, but again, it's going to keep them on a leash, right? Not too far that they can go economically.
Kind of a must-win for M80, or like you said, they'll be back on a save. The ults have to be willing to invest them. Bonnie with a Bucky, get fast and loose, and Cuz is going to swing out. Okay, got information, has the ult, will have another swing at this, and he's hungry for more. Well, he has to repeat that, but M80, maybe that was just still good enough delay. The lockdown seals in the site, so now nothing will hinder M80 now besides the shots coming in from all sides. No players detained. Pigeons already infiltrating through the Viper's pit. No one can really find each other. It's a deadly game of hide and go seek, and Paint pulls off a 3K. Is that enough to push M80 over the edge? At least they can try and wait things out. Pigeons have evicted the Viper from their own pit, but just barely. Alvin will keep it up right on the edge. And Pigeons don't know where to go now except to explore mid, and the spike is ticking down. So at this point, it's farming up kills, making M80 really pay the price. And Derek punishes that mid push, and will be just Koof saving.
Wow. I'm surprised at the speed in which M80 were able to get in, get spiked out, and get off after that lockdown, right? And to comment on the Cuz fight, he came back to life after Bonnie had already swiped his weapon, which made it that much funnier because all he had to rely upon was the shorty. But then I turned back to Paint, right? As soon as Bonnie leaves the site, the duelist you expect to be up personal fighting on the site, he comes running in, right? Instead of being that quiet killjoy rapping for impact, playing out whenever everyone else has fallen on the team, he's like, I'm taking the ones in this Viper's pit, keeping Alvin alive, keeping the win con alive, and yeah, that 3K was everything to deny a fluid retake from Pigeons. But coming to the next, this is where they're finally starting to feel it on the Pigeons side. You can maybe scrounge together another half fight if he loses, but you really want him to lean to the ults, and I'm getting some fake pressure, it looked like, but now that the Neon hasn't seen anything, they just want to speed up.
Right here, get this guy. Get this guy.
How do you miss all of them?
It's okay. Derek's tagged up, but still ready to go. Yeah, he knows that flank is gonna be trouble. The front lines being broken down because he needs to time his battles well, and he combines with Anderson, the power of friendship, to put up some resistance to this M80 offense that has not been able to build momentum despite that last round we saw.
Yeah, honestly, I think just the communication there on the M80 side might not have been as fast as it needed to be, right? Bonnie's all the way deep into the A side, hasn't really seen side futility, hasn't really seen much resistance from a stack on the Pigeon side, and the players are still getting mixed up with that dimensional drift Hunter Fury combination happening outside of Garden, and as a result, the players get fragmented, and then Anderson finally is able to make his way back into re-clearing the site on his own time, and we've seen where he thrives in that regard. Found the round for Pigeons, and coming into the next, you can see M80 having a similar start to the last in terms of trying to get deposits, trying to get fakes, trying to gather intel. They've gotten it already, right? Cypher util C. I'm curious though, look at this refight from the double duelist about to happen short.
Ooh, Mr. Anderson looking for a neural theft opportunity. Wants to drop the hat, hand an L, paint on the angle. Confirms it. No neural theft for the defense as M80 keep their default. Pigeons, now look who's stepping up now. Cuz feeding the beast. Paint changing the angle that he's taking too. Look how careful M80 are being around spawn.
Yeah, I'm thinking Cuz never intends to fight Paint here. This is more for the info to keep the double duelist stacked on A, but the issue is with 40 seconds left, the call from M80 coming through. As long as they clear this corner, this should be an easy post, and the drone comes through. Cuz rocking a hard place.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be a hard place for sure. And M80, they've learned their lesson. And even checking every cranny, nook and cranny here from Bonnie. Just shoots through the smoke. One step ahead of Pigeons. And Zamal, still eyes on him. That MVP duelist. But a 2v5, I don't even know if he could pull that off. Is Coburg splitting off and pushing from garage with a judge? Would have had a chance in the chaos, but he wasn't in position yet, so at least he'll take his dead friend's Vandal and get away in the shadows.
Willie Paint's hunting. Might find the timing, the pings are there, the roadmap's laid, but all in all, I think what we're seeing is, again, the difference between these two. If M80 get in a position to play the protocols, to play that structured post-plant environment, it's perfect, right? GMD on the high-low with Bonnie, they get the trade on the Zamal, and round looks pretty done and dusted here, other than Theo we're trying to save, of course, in the corner.
Oh my god, this is scary. Valorant not just an FPS game, it's
a hide-and-seek match. Coburg's the champion, I guess.
Something nice to kill them.
It's a horror. It's a horror game for sure. And I kind of like these tricks that Pigeons are pulling off. Like, they lost their Sentinel, so what does Cuz do? Kind of absorbs the space that his friend left behind and still tries to trip up M80, but they're taking every step they can to make sure every corner is being checked, even spamming it preemptively. Like, M80 aren't going to give you a leg up at all.
Yeah, and that's where I was looking towards this. I'm like, I like the play from Cuz. I wish he had a way out after getting the info. That's why I wanted the Yoru C, which they've changed, right? So instead it's the Clove Neon grouping here instead towards the A side, and it's the op that can find first blood context down C long, punish what has been this proactive just info gathering, right? From the dart, from seeing where the Cypher cam is. And Coburg isn't done! It's the gate crashing left, right, center, finding more and more!
Mr. Worldwide over here, like a pick and C, pick and A, M80 keeping their head on a swivel. Maybe you think, okay, well, if he's flipped the map, maybe he'll do it again. And Alvin is going to signal this site is free for the taking. That is huge for M80. And they'll set up camp. They'll know this op is on the way. And Alvin only has so much at his disposal, but GMD is a paranoia, and they need to be aggressive with this and not give up that space because Pigeons have retaken before.
Now the tap was they thought the Uto would come immediately, the reflood would come through, and it never did. So now they just have to set up in the post and wait instead for the site smoke, wait for these players just to make contact.
One enemy remaining.
Okay, Alvin holding his own, and Shorty comes out. 1v1, op v op. IGL versus IGL, and it's GMD that shows him how it's done.
Wow, I was about to say, I'm like, to me, that's possibly the best and worst case you could be in, right? Like, you have to hold the line because you have an operator, but you want to play time because the spike is down, and both of them just confident in their abilities. They take the swing, and that's what allowed M80 to get up to 4. 1 round now separating these two squads, but the money drained from the Pigeons' bank accounts. Now, they really have an opportunity to pull ahead, right? They've been sitting on this lockdown. GMD still has the From the Shadows, so let's see if they have a plan in the back pocket.
This lockdown's gonna be big, and bodies, well,
If they need
it's
it.
just bigger and better. Holy, a scuffle so early in the round. We're just breezing through this map with how aggressive both these teams are. And Cuz will be there with the Sheriff. Anderson on the way too. He's had that neural theft for a while, but not the opportunity to use it. M80 cutting all noise and figuring out their next move.
Yeah. I mean, you expect to get these players to rotate over immediately after the stack that was fighting falls, because you expect that M80 to also follow through on the side, but holding their own, they're literally preying on the tendencies of the Pigeons at this point, right? They expected the refight, they hold for it, they get it. GMD gets 4 as the reaped reward. I mean, already had the ult, but those look good on the scoreboard, on the stats line, and same for the momentum now. 3 in a row for M80.
This is a map where you can have a lot of fun with an Omen ult, whether it's getting at the top of A heaven, teleporting in any kind of smoke around C, just getting info, not even needing to commit to it. But you also need your IGL living as long as you can. So Bonnie back up with the op, no op from the defense, and an Odin that's just ready to spam through any smokes. Koof is also taking up so much space over at A as Coburg is going to call out that mid presence. The lockdown for M80 to fight for it back. And Cuz is picking them apart. M80, we're waiting for this ult to go off and the round already feels over.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the crossfire between Cousins and Maul. They wanted to fight immediately, and that drone kind of just delayed it to the perfect time instead once that lockdown went down, and they are just looking for cleanup here. Alvin left, knows how to hold his own in a fight, trying to isolate. Finds one, looking for more, and the Odin is the most difficult one to get a fair fight against, as Coburg will finally end his suffering, get Pigeons up to 6 now. To go into the last round, it'll be a tie or lead, and Pigeons hold that card.
I'm getting shades of Solana with Cuz. Just the way he plays, kind of like for himself, but always so cerebral, so smart, knows when and where to spam through the smoke, has another ult to play with. So I already know he could have some kind of fun insertion and just really throw M80 for a loop, because you were asking, can Cuz kind of have a way out? That would be really nice, and now he has one, so he could go crazy if he wants.
Honestly, I wanna cuz a lot of head-to-head with the clothes. Let's talk about Pigeons versus Sleepers, but maybe a tale for playoffs if we get that far. But for now, I do think M80 have looked the strongest on either C post plants or getting into the safe space, and they're wary about the C side. And I mean, now that Dimensional Drift's confirmed this is at least an A deposit for the time being, Paint probably communicating that as well. So what do? Do you speed up? Do you reframe? You have a minute left.
Pigeons are like, okay, they're wasting their time, we'll waste theirs. Like that high trip too, catching Bonnie right at the waist if he wants to speed in. And off that information from Coburg, yes, they're still in spawn, pushing up long C. So much map control for Pigeons. M80, oh, what is GMD cooking up?
They're trying to fake, but they're ending A here 100%, and it's drawn off at least the Neon and the Clove, but I'm more worried about the Cypher kill trips and the Odin combination heaven.
30 seconds
A lot of traps, a lot of hoops that M80 have to jump through when just Bonnie's already tagged up. That's not going to be a fun adventure for him. GMD is abandoned, and M80 will find a different way. Paint extends out of B to get a cutoff opportunity. But wait, M80 makes up for it. They got to plant soon, though. 10 seconds left. There's got to be some protection here. And now Cuz will be back. The Viper's pit. Oh, no. This barely has enough time to plant. Bonnie has to pull off an ace to save the round. Are you serious? He gets it, maybe a 6K. Now the song's just gonna get him hyped up, and Koof's like, you got the ace, but not a real one. So 6-5, I guess. What a crazy round.
Yeah, I mean, the views will come through. Pigeons will end the half with a lead of 7-5. I mean, I thought Bonnie had that in the bag, the 6K coming, but he takes the 50-50 gamble, loses it, and the Odin connects for the clutch from Koof. I mean, that's just a difficult timing there between Alvin as well over towards C-Link. And I saw this vision. I'm like, if Bonnie doesn't take this fight against Cuz, I expect whoever had the spike that was trying to cross with 10 seconds left was going to fall. I was more impressed that he still gets the kill through the toxic screen. They still get the spike down and the pit. But again, you mentioned the immediacy here from Pigeons. Right place, right time through these smokes especially. And that's exactly what they were able to do, to pounce on the pit before they could reposition, could get into these comfortable positions. But 7-5 side swap. M80 now on that defense where this double controller, this Killjoy should perform fairly well. And now I'm going to be curious to see how the mind games go with this Yoru and how the lurks from Anderson can pay off.
Just kind of looking at the stats of everybody, it's very well rounded for both sides. Like some heroic plays from Cuz, some from Paint and Bonnie. This will really dictate if M80 can catch up or if Pigeons are gonna run away on their map pick. Anderson versus Bonnie, and oh, Bonnie shifts, dip, dive, and dodge. Anderson with first blood. Even Derek, I think, got a peek too.
I love this regroup though outside of A, right? You just put recon util towards garage and you're already this deep into A long. So these players from M80 couldn't just leave that open, right? The Omen re-clears it, you still have your Killjoy, you still have your Viper, so it is just Derek anchoring the site and he has to basically give it up or play for 1 and outs.
All right, Pigeons established, Coburg gone. M80 don't have to break through the choke. They just have to wait to get challenged, and that blind was huge. And Pigeons hold their own. It all comes down to one single player left. Koof with another important clutch to get Pigeons back in this.
Wow, I thought we were about to see some classic magic from GMD, finding 2 and almost the 3rd there. I mean, I would say from a big picture, neither team played that incorrectly. It just came to not enough util in the tank there for M80 to repress the fights. And because they were still having a few rotate over there, Pigeons just had a lot more players, a lot more dogs in the fight. And that's what gets the pistol. That's both pistols going to Pigeons as well. No stinger shenanigans or anything of the like here for M80, so it should be a 9th. And we'll just see how the buy-up goes for Pigeons for the time being.
2-3 stack from M80 and really pushing the envelope. Maybe going towards spawn. There's a trip there, but it's not going to tag M80 yet. Meanwhile, the front lines have been very productive. Outlaw, Marshall, they're having a good hunting season over at C. While M80 for any upgrades they can, but at a distance, it's but a whisper. And now silence from M80 as Pigeons have to take 4 weapons, or at least 3 weapons into the bonus.
And Bonnie 1 HP. Somehow was able to find Anderson amidst that chaos in grass, but looks like they were trying to die to spike here. Thought last presence was shown via grass. Might be able to sneak in through CT, but you mentioned hunting season. Coburg has found the final trophy. And there it is, 9-5 in seamless fashion pretty much, aside from the one that split apart. Obviously from the flock there with Anderson, again, your lurker garage player, who evidently didn't have a weapon to donate to the cause anyways, so all in all, this is the round where I'm looking for M80 to stabilize again, because they had a slow start, right? 0-4 in the first half as well. It's just, you don't want to get bonused again, right? And that's where that double sniper is mighty scary, I will say. So I'm surprised that they're still going for kind of classic, like, let's deposit our neon and such over towards the A side.
That's why they leave Paint's turret to get all that information at C. Now that that's taken out, Paint has to leave garage to Alvin. maybe Bonnie puts pressure on himself to make that big play to go through spawn and see if he can exploit that. So that'll be something for Anderson to adapt to later on. Ooh, slow peek. First blood for M80. Really feeling like a must win. If you let Pigeons go to double digits and then M80 have to save, like this is gonna be really tough to come back from.
At least it's the enemy map pick, not yours, unlike our first series of the day. But we mentioned all the work I did to put Bonnie here, and this is why.
Oh, Bonnie playing with fire. Someone has to put this man out. He was heating up. A 3-for-1, and none other than Koof, who has to solve all the problems. 1v4, he's got a whole lot of them.
And the 1v1 master. What about the 1v4 master?
Yeah, maybe he could. Hey, if he could isolate 1v1s, I'd be hard coping though. Just any kills to get him to a Hunter's Fury would be huge. And now I just keep thinking about what Roy said of Pigeons 2-0 after the whole desk and us.
Curse.
When M80 is this curse.
Well, this round should be an indicator that it's not curses just yet. Doesn't even let Koof get one on the clutch in the 1v4. We'll prevent the double digits there and keep a lot of weapons coming into the next, which is great. Also 1 off from the overdrive, 2 off from Derek's Hunter's Fury, so they're on par to kind of... Our Pigeons are progressing in the ultimates department too, but honestly, this is exactly how even typically played, and Bonnie executed on it perfectly. Now, if they would have regrouped and taken him down, that would have opened up the entire A side minus the Derek anchor, and could have been the difference maker, so all in all, again, how you typically expect a bonus to go. This is where things should get interesting, right? Koof, Hunter's Fury, maybe to set up a side exec. I think that's why they're starting pretty C-heavy. Just a matter if they can get past Paint, who we've seen also have some insane multi-kills. We haven't seen him tested as an anchor, though.
Like Anderson as this anchor, that trip right where Bonnie has been pushing the limits there. And okay, a lot of spam through the smoke. Some damage into Alvin. Adjustment of the turret too, as M80 want better protections at B. Even the Viper's wall there too. Pigeons trying to section off the site, see who's home. Kind of this push and pull through the middle of the map. This Paint wants to get vision and catches Anderson juggling with his util. That's big for M80.
Yeah, I'm liking the disrespect they're finally showing towards Pigeons, right? This has been the kind of go-to is while you're simultaneously pressure, Anderson's getting set up on a backdoor lurk in the late round, and that's been denied. The B site's been re-cleared as well by Derek. They never committed to it, so it feels like both timings have now been a miss, and they have still managed to find a plan forward with 40 seconds left on the clock. A site, deserted for the time being, site smoke is out. They're kind of playing the retake game here on an M80 side.
And if you can keep Koof alive with the Hunter's Fury, they have a real chance with this post plant, but they just can't afford to drop anyone else. Get that TP in, M80 will be smoked off from heaven, but they have time to play with. These Pigeons will keep Koof on flank watch. Also in a position for the Hunter's Fury. Ooh, and he's trying to have an exchange with Bonnie. Oh, he's so slippery. He's just dropping in the smoke. And now it's panic. It's chaos. It's slowed down as M80 half the time they're swing out of the smoke, but Cuz checks them at the door. Now you don't even need to invest the ult. Or, well, you just need to respond to the spike being tapped. A little antsy on that. Wait a minute. Derek waits for the re-swing, and Koof, the patience pays off. This guy's just the clutch guy.
And just the 1v1 guy. Very nicely done.
That too, yeah.
Again, double digits. I mean, 1v1s are clutches. So we're all chilling out, and it seems like M80 says, yeah, we are not chill. We are entering a zone of panic with Pigeons on double digits. The timeout is taken. Nismo gets in. Said if they... Just mention, if you're losing, you're learning. Let's see what you've learned from losing 10 rounds against Pigeons to turn things around. Because, again, they've always had close havens, never winning havens. And again, this would be a nice, more so safety net going into Abyss, which something I noticed with this map pool is both these teams have reps on all these maps. They've been close games, or they're like 1-1. So none of these are like safe calls like, okay, we're 100% going to win this map. So that's where my head's at and why there's the immediacy in trying to win this out. And honestly, I think they were doing well when they were puncturing, finding these first kills across the map, waiting for Pigeons to overfight. But now when it's gone to these retakes, it's just not looking pretty on the M80 side.
Yeah, they're gonna have a weird buy going to this. I know they have 2 hero rifles, but what is the rest of the team gonna do? And I think Bonnie had the ult, so could always gift his weapon and yeah, doing just that. Okay, everyone did manage to buy with the different varying amounts of shields, but is Bonnie gonna ult? He's been so aggressive down A long, but you want to switch it up, you want to condition, you want to have Pigeons paranoid.
Oh. For now, I do like the B adaptation. We feel like Pigeons have been defaulting outside of mid round after round, just breaking the util, getting in pretty easily. I thought we were going to see Derek a little bit more heavily committed with the Killjoy. So garage peel off is questionable, but just leave Cuz on the line. I'm not against this either, right? You mentioned the differing shield levels on the side of M80, but they are quite fragile.
It's been kind of an M80 special of bring up the Viper walls, spam, see what kind of commotion you can cause. It's now Pigeons starting to show themselves in garage, maybe splitting into B, but not really wanting to walk into any trap because you also don't know where paint is set up. And now Derek, Hunter's Fury, gets a tag, gets Coop very low and on his last legs. And an important part to this attack, considering the Hunter's Fury is still in the bank. Now Zamal can no longer hesitate. He needs to be that fast and loose Neon. As Derek finds his final shot into Coop, finishes off that kill, does more than that, is really trimming down the parts of Pigeons who get the spike down, but lose their headhunter, Zamal. And now Anderson and Cuz have to pull off some heroics. And it's Cuz, oh God, he's gonna get chased. Gets a chance. Wait, that meteor's just gonna stack together. There's no way you get outbrained. Cuz clutches again.
What? You're telling me between those 2 players, neither thought of the possibility of him re-wrapping behind?
Yeah.
Or it was too late, I should say, with Derek at the last second. Had on a swivel turning. This felt like finally M80 cracking the code, right? Literally splintering off these players that were trying to fight to keep B on wraps, right? There was a gap in the cage, for example. They obliterated Zamal through. I mean, that is the round that kind of puts you in the ground, right? Like, that would have been a nice round to get us tied back up towards the 10-10, you know? Now, I mean, money broke. Pigeons should get on to 12. Yeah, that's one to hit the VOD review in.
That's cooked, yeah. And Roy was talking about this on the desk of, we know M80 can be successful, will be successful. They have proven pieces to this puzzle. It was when and how this was going to come together and how clean they could be today. And I don't know, based on the scoreline, it is not their map pick. So maybe we'll have to see what M80 look like on Abyss before we let the desk break them down. But yeah, that was not one of the cleanest rounds. But hey, M80, it could pull out some punches with an eco, right? Or maybe I'm coping.
I mean, we can cope. I like Bonnie and a Bucky. I like GMD with a Stinger. I mean, they've fortunately let Pigeons out onto the A side. They've flown the coop, but I do like the flank that's brewing instead, right? You didn't have Anderson front B or anything, so if they can close the distance, that's good, but that's already a tall task with the flank being held by this sniper, or I thought. Paint just, okay, why not?
Uh-oh, the timing. Someone's gotta go into sewers. Anderson pulling off the Matrix over there. Okay, and that's kind of some weapons that M80 really needed. GMD's the sole survivor. Paranoia is not gonna help this fight at all, and Pigeons will not take this laying down and take a quick fight before the flank develops. And that's just, again, very high IQ for Pigeons as they get to match point.
No, exactly. Just the understanding they've lost the flank control with Anderson with Cuz falling, so they take the spawn fight instead. Often gets overwhelmed, and well, I thought there was a chance we'd have GMD in that clutch moment. It doesn't go their way. So last time out expended as Pigeons get up to map point, as we mentioned. I think they have some retake tools, right? Especially with this lockdown, if they do want to play again that detached A space. But honestly, I think the best success they've had on this defense was when Bonnie, like, pushed up really deep down A long off of Derek, right? But with this operator coming in the mix, I could see it having also an impact A short. I don't think I want it on C. I just haven't seen enough C long presence from Pigeons, because Pigeons, they've been just mid default, sometimes end A, sometimes end C. So maybe put a judge in garage, right? Alvin, you have your snake bite to get away. That could be a fun choice. Play how like Cuz was.
Yeah, it's another one of those pray to a god you believe in with match point, 4 ults, Coburg with a judge and dimensional drift, like. And yeah, Bonnie, if he can go through spawn, but then Anderson has been adjusting where his trips are. And it feels like M80 have to commit a lot to flanks. Like, they just committed 3 on the flank. It was a save, but it still feels like they have to throw a lot at Pigeons to knock them out of flight.
I mean, hard map to retake on, and Pigeons are proving that point. Mentioned not wanting the op on C, but we're finally getting a C exec because of the Hunter's Fury Dimensional Drift combination, but it also exposes the stack, so do you really want to commit to this?
Yeah, there's that initial damage done to the Neon, but just not getting that trade, which could have maybe gotten Pigeons back into a winning position. Well, it's plan B, literally. Looking at B.
Close alarm bot this time. They realize the turret's been smoked off time and time again.
Anderson can get a body here. Neural theft could be what it takes to get them across the finish line. Does M80 want that mid controller coming through garage and through sewers? Maybe a cutoff for Coburg, all depending on timing. Lockdown is going to throw all these rotations for a loop here as M80 push the spike to the edge. That never got planted, and this is how M80 secure the round. The spike is down, all 5 are alive. And this is the first step to a sprint.
Yeah, if Coburg had challenge broken the lockdown, I wonder how that could have differed, right? You would have had split attention with Koof also in Garden. Now instead they're both alone. Now instead it feels like they're just saving, right? They have 6 rounds. Play for some point, some eco damage, but other than that, the full stop from Coburg honestly surprised me.
Also, I would have loved if Bonnie had just chilled out. At least GMD recovered an op using the ult. Because
nice.
The credits are very low for the M80 side, so you can't afford to be dropping anybody. But you got a lot of ults out of Pigeons. So there's still, not only did M80 win the round and obviously are still alive, but they got Dimensional Drift and Hunter's Fury out.
Yeah. Showed the Sea Anchors not to be trifled with. Need 5 more rounds to get to OT. I think they also solved that B hold with the alarm bot. I think they identified well in that timeout that, hey, the turret's not finding much impact there. So instead, let's switch to this turret that also handles garage. But difficult to hear is that off is still C. So Derek is again expected to solo anchor A, or you have to run the retake that you have yet to win on this A side.
Oh, God. So many walls, crisscross applesauce, and Pigeons could just wait this out. Don't have to play fast here. You have 2 pistols after all. And I mean, Zamal, finger guns would do a lot more there. But that's if there's a chance to actually cross this barrier. We're gonna send the clone in to draw some attention, and on that pick from Bonnie, this is gonna definitely hinder things for Pigeons as they look towards Cuz for answers.
Yeah, I do really like this. They reflooded into A immediately off that side smoke, knowing they can't retake it. They trust in the retakes on B or C, or the ability of Paint to full anchor with his util, informing him where to lean.
Still match point for Pigeons. Could be over very soon. And shades of Salatov, like we literally just casted this Haven and a Clove doing exactly this, but really needing to solidify and keep that map control so that the spike, or I keep selling this fake and see if you can lighten up the load on A. Pigeons are smoked off, and Alvin and GMD are not buying it.
Because all the way on to C. With 17 seconds left, you can't even, okay, I was gonna say, you can't make it Koof all the way to the C side. Maybe Zamal can. It's gonna be close.
So
it's gonna be
cooked.
so close. And I think,
It's
yeah,
so
there it is.
cooked.
There it is. Now it's cooked.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, that call come a
jeez.
little bit sooner, right? They were so sold on trying to make this A fake work when Cuz was doing all of that work. Rough one to lose in that fashion. What could have been like a 3v5 post plant, but that's 4 more needed for M80 now. And don't think we'll get another dimensional drift by then. Maybe also not a Hunter's Fury. We'll have to wait and see. On the flip side, Alvin went off the pit. Derek went off the Hunter's Fury here. They're expecting on another broken buy for them to go fast up B with that overdrive from Zamal, and I don't think they're mistaken from how we're seeing this setup from the Pigeons. So full microwave setup from the Killjoy, ready here, just waiting on the meal to roll up.
This has not been an easy defense to address. Like, yes, Pigeons have been very successful on this half, but then you have the Viper's Wall from Alvin that's made A and B traversing very difficult, along with not knowing where the KJ util is because of that wall, to the ever-present op threat from M80 that has shifted different points of the map. Pigeons gonna show face, and ooh, there's numbers in mid. Derek does not like what he sees. It's gonna get Alvin to put the walls back up.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing everything to try and push them into B, right? The drone makes it seem weak, like there isn't Killjoy util defending the site. You have the snake bite early invested over towards Garage as well. Now you're fighting towards the op, the cage to cross, at least for the time being, but then you have to worry about paint over towards short.
Ooh, Bonnie bites down on Cuz. And now you have to try and push into this op with Sheriffs. The turret gives a heads up. Bonnie answers the call, and paint makes art on the wall. Zamal has to pull out the finger guns in desperation. Gets an upgraded op. Too many angles to watch, though. 1v3. He's got
Like
speed. Eric shocked to try and deny the plan. Zamal strikes, and wait a minute, possible. M80, they can't fumble yet another 2v1. The paranoia doesn't connect, but the kneel, the adjustment, the composure of M80, they're not done yet.
Nice dagger swing there to finish it off. And I liked how, again, they respected Zamal and that overdrive, but they disrespected that side exec with that broken buy out of Pigeon. That's been the big difference, right? Instead of readily giving up, hey, they're fighting for this, right? Pink gets 2, lines them up, right? You have Bonnie there opping backside. It's got a recipe for success, and one that Pigeons have not been able to solve, albeit Zamal came close himself. So now, again, it's 1 round you need for Pigeons, and they have yet to find that branch to perch on. Now Seaside's out of the picture as well, so A is gone, C is gone. Garage or B? Reset your sights.
Oh, Hunter's Fury. It's a nope. Garage is not open for business. Eric has been so good at confirming kills with that too, and just feels like Pigeons have to go in this blindly. What could give them a lot of info is, again, a neural theft from Anderson. Any opportunity here would be huge, and that's where M80 do not want to gift this to him.
Yeah, he doubled back out of short too, trying to find Bonnie, maybe leaving the long angle, but they've worked their way through the Killjoy utility. You know, at least one is on B from that Yoder flash. But this timing from Pain. VC2.
Knows there's trouble, and now the plant will confirm that. Eric keeps Garage, and they'll have their angles around it. This extension from Cover's what's interesting to me. That win from Paint is going to alleviate that danger, even up the numbers. And he's going for more. Bonnie checks him at the door. Pressure starts to build, and Pigeons could go for the win, but not if Alvin saves the day. And Anchor, ever so dependable, but a backstab opportunity for Anderson. Oh, but the spike is being diffused, and Derek reads it like a book and saves M80, which would have been disastrous if Anderson got in position.
Derek, again, that experience from Tier 1 in the server. There's always been that one with that 5th sense, right? Even when Cuz was making that old rap, he was the first one to turn in that 2v1. And that's exactly what they needed to earth out that final flank play that could have flipped things for the side of Pigeons. They call their first timeout. We'll see one now, probably one right before the 13. Or I should say the 12-12, I'm expecting. If they break up this momentum after a simple timeout, that would, after all that work for M80, it would definitely sting going into map 2.
Yeah, after that last time out from M80, they've been on a 4-round win streak. It's pretty incredible. And just the way that they can react and answer when there's that extension from Pigeons, being able to trade out, go after Coburg and whoever on B for M80 to just trap Pigeons in the middle of the map and eventually work their way back in. I like the play from Anderson. Need to see this neural theft come out eventually, because that could be what makes these decisions a lot easier for Pigeons.
And I could be wrong, but I feel like out of the last 5 rounds, including the one we're about to do, I feel like we've seen Pigeons on half buys, right? After they saved. So it's been just, again, trying to get over this final hurdle time and time again instead of a full save, and we still don't get the full save now. And that's difficult for me. I mean,
yeah.
See if it suits them well if they get the job done before overtime, but for now I do like this. Feign the Odin pressure, conceal GMD. See if he can pop off. Aww.
And Cuz could be that first point of contact. He's got the ult. Very good delay. Wow, that was right at the moment Pigeons needed to step in. And then he just has Zamal dancing. He just gets broken down. And M80, again, Alvin has been so pivotal with these delays, the walls, the snake bite, and the timings of when that util is being used.
Yeah.
M80 have been on against match point for so long that they're just so resilient to be able to pull this off at this point.
Good try, Cuz. Good try. And again, it's like after that sequence of rounds, right? I think it was after the final M80 timeout. It's like Nismo said, why are we so afraid to fight for A side, guys? Right? Because you notice it, right? They played like 3 or 4 retakes in a row, down to that last eco attempt that we saw where they flanked, right? And then after that, it was we are hard anchoring the A side, we are reflooding the A side every time before Spike is going down. And every time it succeeded for them now, right? And this round was a great example of them doing it perfectly or near so, right? And that's where I do think for Pigeons, the answer does not lay towards A. In my mind, it is in fact like the C, garage, or B space, and they too have looked kind of scared to commit towards that side of the map.
Pigeons, this is the round to convert. This is the one you've been saving and investing for these ults. And you still got to just fall back to those fundamentals. Anderson checking out mid while staying stacked with the team so they can still push numbers, but this drone from Derek gonna mark Coburg. Not fully convinced, but now you definitely are. Missing GMD is gonna be crucial. No IGL, no paranoia, but Derek answers. Cuz will be back. Needs to go for those kills, and that's great information. Neural theft thrown into the mix too. M80 are picking away at Pigeons, trying to play bodyguard, and it takes heroics. It takes Coburg with 3, and Alvin to end it all. The 1v1 showdown to get M80 to overtime.
And it is so poetic that they end regulation with the problem child that got them in this mess. An A retake, right? Finally, the anchors between Derek and GMD fall, and they have to play the retake game. And it honestly comes out of Derek challenging Cuz, who wanted to refight, right? If you respect Cuz and that run it back, you give up all of that space and have to reinvest that utility that you were already shy on to just get into the site. And that's where they've struggled. So holding on to that position was everything. And now everything is a clean slate here. Obviously side swap, so we'll have to see exactly they go for here. I'm just trying to remember the last half. It's been ages now.
Right? Yeah, and this insane win streak. Is that the wind in the sails for M80 to, go off into the sunset? Because they had a 5-7 half, but M80 improved a lot since that 0-4 start that they had. Just mechanically, too. They're warmed up, ready to go.
Hey. I will say, this is something Pigeons got away with a lot, right? Coburg swinging out of, garage, and Cuz swinging out of grass, and they've done it again.
Yeah, the turret from Paint marked that swing, and M80 swung off of that info, and Pigeons knew right at that moment what was about to happen. These gunfights are huge, but we're left with a 3 versus 3. The spike is on its way to A, a little further behind though, and GMD just used the paranoia, expecting an earlier fight. Now Alvin's 7 HP. This retake is as even as it gets. Now Heaven is unhindered as Pigeons assess the site. M80 not showing face in main. Right below, do Pigeons know this? They're playing time. Paint kind of alone on an island. Teammates right behind him, not in the most tradable positions, but Alvin and GMD catch the drop down. And it's cuz that is the last to fall. M80 take their overtime attack.
Wow, and Alvin finally stabilizing individually as well. Finds 2 there. I mean, that has to hurt, right? For Zamal, 7 HP, 8 HP, can't jump out of Heaven, has to go to the box, and Alvin's holding it, right? Maybe good comms from the team there as well about how much damage had been done. But yeah, that feels like a breakthrough, right? They feel like they've solved the defense, right? That's what got them to overtime. So Pigeons needed that safety net to figure out their attack, and it's been stripped out from under them.
7 unanswered rounds from M80 from a 6-12 deficit. Now they gotta go from 0 to 100 and put a stop to this Pigeons attack. And it's been so much part of Alvin and GMD forcing Pigeons to basically have to go in blind. And also M80 are spamming through these smokes, at least a lot through B. Along with that Odin from Derek, Koof has brought his own to the party. Pigeons don't know where to go next.
I mean, they were doing a great job, I think, getting past these layers of utility, right? Snakebite's already out. Most of the Killjoy kit's already off the table. It's like, world is their oyster for now, and somehow they're going back to A, the site that has burned them time and time again, and Bonnie is the only one home.
Bonnie did get hit by that. He's looking for a cutoff. Oh, everyone's getting mixed up in all these neon walls. And, well, Pigeons do a great job clearing that right corner that has caught them before. Pigeons being met with a lot of resistance. Payne and Alvin got the capes on their back, and it's a 1v1 to decide this overtime.
Where are you going?
Very familiar players in this showdown. And the spike has been heading elsewhere to Narnia, and Alvin playing cat and mouse.
No wall for the retake. No orb for the retake. A dart online for Koof.
Cut off. Thinking Alvin will take his time at the choke, that Koof could have a backstab opportunity. No, he's going to play safe in garage. Although the spike is at the back of the site, so very awkward. And knowing that, okay, well, in the 1v1, Alvin will be way too nervous to hold that defuse, right? Koof with a delayed peek. Alvin back on it. Looking for a halfway point, and Koof keeps Pigeons alive.
Has Koof lost a 1v1?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. That's one consistency for Pigeons, and one they are now clutching onto to get to this second cycle of overtime. I mean, you played the mind games, right? It's playing it for backside. You expect the CT wrap, instead just swings instead back out of garage. So very, very nicely done there. And we go again where, to me, again, Pigeons, their defense is what should shine. Again, it's where the M80 also were struggling.
Hey, good to kill that recon that Derek just pulled out, because that 3-stack exposure would have been an indication for M80 to hit C, or at least to just expect this push. Alvin will lay behind to provide some protection for spawn, since they don't have a cipher to put trips down the way Anderson does. Turret doesn't reveal anything in mid, so M80 are going to check out C.
I'm curious what Derek's util is going to look like. 1-2 shocks. Take away Anderson's tools here. The drone can spot them out. That's a huge plus as well. If Alvin gets both of these kills, though, do you double back A?
Oh, he's testing the waters. He's got big problems ahead of him, and Samal just slips right in front of the shotgun. Yeah, you go away. And racing ahead of them, too, is Koof. He'll get there fast enough. He has 2 shots to delay. Anderson has
30
nothing at his
seconds left.
disposal, and Cuz is waiting for a wrap back towards C. And now M80 have a 5v2. Get themselves ahead in overtime. There's that first shot, some damage in as Bonnie finishes off what he started. And GMD is right by his side. Power of friendship, M80, spike down, and a pit on top of that. Well, Cuz, they know where you're at. The turret waved hello, and you waved goodbye to Bonnie. M80, just gonna stick to their positions. I don't really know that there's much that Cuz can do.
He never destroyed the turret from heaven. They know where he is in the reposition. I know
Decay
side
is
smoke
not
just
helping.
came online. Yeah, like you're out of options, out of time.
The only chance he had is if M80 got desperate and just solo swung him. But I think, yeah, you just depend on the orb and snake bite from Alvin. Good patience from M80, even in these really high stakes overtime situations.
Yeah, I like that they weren't too stuck in their executions, right? We look back to some of the fakes that weren't sold and they were running into the Pigeon stacks. The last overtime cycle on their attack, they waited for Alvin. They found those 2 and that's what allowed them to convert, but I am nervous right now for Pigeons. Having used that timeout, are once again going to the A site that has been their undoing.
Ooh, Bonnie at a moment while the recon is being shot, they'll still get a trade. Take it out, Coburg is huge. I mean, he has 19 kills. GMD backstab, M80 breaking down the structure of Pigeons. Remember, Pigeons won their attack in a 1v1. Like, it came down to the wire. M80's defense has ever been so difficult to get through. Oh, okay, yeah. And the kills just come free like that.
Swarm Grenade not destroy might be what tips this towards the ending. And Paint's alone. This is a 2v1 you could spring with the Odin, which would make it a 2v2. And they've gotten it.
Paint was pinged. 2v2, yeah. The fact that M80, what, 5v3 at some point? Like, definitely a solid start. Pigeons. Pressure makes diamonds. Spike down. Oh, the smoke's about to go down. GMD punish. The timing on M80's side. And Anderson doesn't want to reveal how far away he is from the spike, but he'll have eyes on it. Smoke. Derek's on it. GMD within the same position. The spam through. They know where the threat is coming from. And M80 have done it in overtime. Down 6-12. They have overcome the best. And M80 will take the map.